Hi there. So, one of the biggest questions we get all the time is about formatting your book. It seems so simple, but there's so much that goes into it behind the scenes, the process, and authors tend to get impatient and wonder what the heck is going on. It's kind of like behind the curtain is formatting the book. And, as publishers, a lot of times it's like, we don't want you to get dragged in with all of those details and the gory details behind the curtain, right? Of all that chaos and everything that goes on. We want you to just see the final part, but you are going to be seeing, I guess I would say, like the dress rehearsals of it all, right? Which is not perfect yet. We're getting to where we can have that opening night and the show. So Jenn is our expert. She handles all of those details. So that's her team that heads that up. And she's going to walk us through some of that process and some of the perils and the good, the bad, and the ugly of it.
Yeah, so I think the main thing that authors need to know when formatting a book is when you're working with a formatter, it's a process. It's not a really fast sprint. It's going to take some time because you want your book to be amazing. You want it to be great. You don't want it to be rushed, right? So
Mhm.
if you have a deadline that you have to have the book done by, I would give yourself at least 2 months for formatting. And now it might be a lot faster than that, depending on your formatter and how fast they work. But just know it's going to be a lot of back and forth. Now, you already went back and forth on your manuscript for editing. And so you'll probably totally do not like your manuscript anymore because if you worked with your editor and you have the traditional process of editing your book, you're going to go back and forth many times to make sure you have it perfectly edited. A lot of times you'll say, oh, well, I have an editor. It's totally done. And then
Yeah.
you'll even send it to beta readers and you'll get feedback from them. And then you're like, what? How is this spelled wrong? How did we miss a T in this word? Like, this makes no sense. Everyone's read it. We've had like 25 people reading this book,
Right.
but you will find little things. We call it, it's like when you're picking weeds, they just grow. So there's another one. So you'll miss a comma or you'll miss a space. So once that's all edited, then it's time for formatting. Now, the formatting process is the same because you're going to be formatting your book from an 8.5 by 11 Word
Mhm.
document or whatever you wrote your book on to a book size. So whether your book is 6 by 9, 5 by 8, 5.5 by 8.5, whatever size your book is, a children's book, you're going to do opposite. You're going to do 11 by 8.5. It's going to be long. It's going to be totally different than writing it on regular Microsoft Word.
Mhm.
So you want your book to look really, really good. I know Melanie, with the books that she's written, I've sent you book back and forth for formatting. And the trick with formatting is you don't want to edit it during the formatting stage. In other words, you're reading along and you're like, oh, I kind of wanted to add a paragraph here. No, no, no. It's already been edited. You can't add a paragraph because that will change the whole formatting of the book.
Right.
Because the book flows, right? So
Mm.
when you're formatting a book, all you want to be changing and the things you want to be looking for is spacing
Mhm.
and picture placement and font typesetting
Mhm.
and the spacing of your chapter headings. Like those are the kind of things that you look for when you're formatting a book. So you don't want to be adding sentences. Now, if you see a missed period or a missed space or a missed comma, yes, please add it in or tell the formatter to fix that. But you really shouldn't have edits anymore, right? That should be done. It should be spacing, typesetting,
Yeah.
picture placement, those kind of things. And you might have back and forth, 2, 3 revisions. Some take more, 5 or 6 revisions. It really just depends on your working relationship with the formatter and the author.
Well, I think that's one of the things. Sometimes I think the author expects it when it comes back from the formatter, it's going to be perfect. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, the editing's now great. Like you said, it's done. And even though they went back and forth with the editing, they expect when it goes to the formatter, it's going to come back and be perfect or close to perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Usually there's that back and forth, like, oh my gosh, I said the picture was supposed to go here. Why is the picture there? Because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes things just get jinky in the process when they're doing
Mm-hmm.
it. So just expect it to be unperfectly perfect and
Yes.
going back and forth. So a lot of it is those expectations. So it's
Mm-hmm.
just kind of changing it, expect to go back and forth. Don't get, all bent out of shape if something's not quite right. And that's also true when you get your proof copy. You get your proof copy and sometimes you're like, "What? How did this happen?" Just because from the formatting to the printing, sometimes something happens to the file, things can just happen. So the best way is just to be relaxed. We know this happens, and that's what we're here for. We're here to make sure it gets fixed. We're here to make sure we communicate properly to the formatter and it goes back and forth, and it does go smoothly. But you just have that back and forth, and just set those expectations that it's imperfectly perfect when you're going to get it back.
Right. And then once you do have the final revision, we have a few watchers right now. So hello, thanks for watching. Leave a comment or a question in the comments so we can see the comments. So we want to know what questions you have about formatting or about book publishing. But what I wanted to say is once the format is finished, then is the print proof process. And the print proof is totally different when you're looking at a PDF. Now I want to explain this because a lot of times authors don't do this, and I have a video on YouTube that shows how to do this. And also I'll explain it in the email when I send them the final proof. So when you're looking at a PDF, you want to open it in Adobe Acrobat. Now you might have Pro or DC or whatever Acrobat reader you have, but you want to open it in Adobe Acrobat. Now that doesn't mean when you get your email that you click on the PDF and it opens in your browser. That's not how you look at a book, because your browser looks at it different than Adobe Reader. Does that make sense? So you need to download that from your email, open it in Adobe Reader, and then there's two things you have to do in order to see what it looks like and how to see it like a book. And that is you have to change the view settings. So in the top of Adobe, you have to click View, and then you click 2-page view. And then the second thing you have to click on is show the first page in 2-page view or single page. Yeah. What that does is it's going to show you, I have a book here.
I know this is kind of technical.
It is technical, but I want to show you.
Part of the process.
So this is the book that's going to be coming out on Tuesday. So it's a little preview, but I want to show you, it's going to show this as your first page on your layout of your PDF, which is your title page. Then it should show you the next page spread, which will be a 2-page spread, which is usually your table of content, your copyright page and the first page of your book, which for him, it's his praises, endorsements. So just so you know, that's what it looks like. So you don't want to be scrolling to view the format of your book. You want to look at it so that it looks like when you're opening a book and you've got one page on each side.
Otherwise, you kind of freak out because you're like, oh my gosh, there's all these blank pages and there's this and that. People freak out. And you're like, well, are you looking at the book right? Are you looking at it in a 2-page view? Yeah. So that can be done. And one of the beautiful things about working with us, Elite Online Publishing, is like Jen was saying, you can't make any edits. Once you say final copy, it's going to the formatter, then we're ready to publish. But one of the things that we offer our clients is once the book is all up, you've got it going on there, and then you look at it again and other people looked at it. You're going to get comments about, like we say, edits are like weeds. You're going to have a whole nother list of things, or you're like, maybe I should have rewritten that paragraph. I should have added this in here. So we give you another chance to do that. Once it's all published, then if you have any of those changes, part of our packages include you going in, adding, deleting, doing different stuff, and we'll go through the process one more time with you and re-upload the book, because it's just different. Once you have it out there and you're under this pressure to get it done the first time, then you're more relaxed. The book's already hit #1 bestseller when you work with us. Then you're looking at it and other people are looking at it. So we want you to have that one more time and give you that other free upload for your copy of your book.
Yes. Yeah, and you will find things. So it's good to have one last edit or one last little submission. So that's really good. Definitely. Yeah. What other questions do you have, Melanie, or anyone else about formatting or book publishing?
Yeah. And how long does it usually take? You said about 2 months, right? That we should leave that.
I would say the first round. So the first round is 1 to 2 weeks. So usually when you send a manuscript to a formatter, if they're not too busy, they'll have it turned back to you in 7 to 10 days. Yeah. So your first round is around a little less than 2 weeks. But then you have to start the process of, here's my proof modification form. Here's all the things that I want updated. And so that's been sent to the formatter. And then that might take another 4 or 5 days. It could even take up to a week, depending on how busy the formatter is. You have to remember that the formatter has multiple clients.
Yeah.
He doesn't just have one client. And that's same with editors. You have to remember that editors have multiple clients. They don't just have one. So they can't sit for 8 hours working on your book. They
Yeah.
have other clients to work with. So depending on how they work.
I think we all forget that whenever we sign up for a service industry, especially with us, we make our clients feel like they are the only one, right? Because
Yeah.
it's such one-on-one concierge expert
Mhm.
attention that they feel like they are the only people that we work with. And we are very selective. We only have a small amount of people that we work with at a time because we want to have that really close personal relationship with our
Mhm.
clients. You're not dealing with people over in China when you work with us.
Yeah.
You have very personal one-on-one concierge service. But we do have other clients. And I think we react the same way when we are getting services from other people. We still want to feel like we're the only ones. And why aren't we getting it right away? So it's just having that patience and understanding for any process. I always use the example of building a house, right? You're ready to move and pick your furniture out and put it in the house already, but you're still in the stage of the engineering and just pouring the foundation. You're like, well, why isn't all the sticks up yet? Why isn't the roof on yet? So it just all takes time and process, and one thing leads to the other.
Mhm.
So we're happy to work with you. If you're thinking about writing a book, we do guarantee that our authors will hit #1 bestseller. We do have that concierge service, that one-on-one approach. You can go to our website and hit the submission button right there and see if we're a good fit for you and you're a good fit for us. So thanks for watching. And if you have any other questions, please reach out to us. We're always happy to answer any questions that you have.
Thanks for watching. We'll finish the video out with one of our testimonials from Todd Sylvester.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great week. Bye.
Hey everybody, my name's Todd Sylvester. I am the newly #1 bestseller of the book, I Am Recovered. And I have to give a shout out to Elite Online Publishing and Melanie Johnson and Jenn Foster. Those two are amazing individuals. Their company's amazing. When I first got into wanting to write this book, I always thought, how am I going to publish this? And I don't even know anything about publishing. And, luckily, Elite Online Publishing and myself, we connected, and with Melanie and Jenn guiding me and coaching me, it was flawless. It was, truly, like, it was just great. I knew they had my back in this. All I had to do is provide the content. They pretty much did the rest. And I would recommend anyone out there who has a book and they're not sure what to do with it, they're not sure how to get it out to the masses, I would definitely get with Elite Online Publishing. They're amazing. And it's not the company per se, it's more Melanie and Jenn and how they treat you and the way they respect you, and they just have your best interests at heart. So I would recommend that for anyone. And again, I've learned that when we write a story, we write our story, we're leaving a legacy behind. And whether I was a bestseller or not, I'm leaving my legacy behind to, at least my family. But thanks to Elite Online Publishing, it gets to go out to the masses. And so I feel so fortunate to be able to share my story. So thank you, Elite Online Publishing. Thank you, Melanie and Jenn. You guys are amazing.